Thank you very much. And first, we've almost made it to the end of the very first showcase day, which is pretty cool. And I just want to say thank you to all the volunteers and organizers for all that. And just kind of, I know it's a lot of work, and this is a really cool idea to add this day. So thank you. I want to get started by going back in time, taking a little history lesson. Do you remember 2004? No? The Motorola Razr was the most popular phone that year. There was no iPhone, no Android devices. MySpace was the very first Web 2.0, what we called it then, Web 2.0 site to hit 1 million users. Blog was Merriam-Webster's Dictionary's Word of the Year, 2004. Yahoo was the website in the world with the highest traffic, the most popular search engine. And this was my favorite tool at the time, this graphing calculator. This was my first year out of university, and I was an algebra teacher for a while.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Also, 2004 was the year of the Facebook launched, Gmail launched, Yelp launched, Squarespace, the intelligent way to publish, was their tagline when they launched, FeedBurner, which I really miss. It was not the year that WordPress launched. That was 2003, but this is what WordPress looked like in 2004. It's about 1 year old. Templates were what eventually became known as themes. Plugins were just around. You can see things are a little bit different. But one of the things and why I bring this up, one of the problems that WordPress was having at the time was there was nothing in core to manage cropping images or resizing images, all of the things needed for like uploading avatars. This is not something that was super trivial at the time. We also didn't have the same hosting that we have with managed hosts, CDNs, caching, all of these things. And so a service was born, Gravatar, in 2004. It was started by a man named Tom Preston Warner, who eventually, a couple of years later, went on to found and co-found a little company you may have heard of, GitHub. And so he started Gravatar to solve this problem, not for WordPress, but for the web, that how can we just upload our picture once, no matter what website we go to, when we leave a comment or whatever it is, that avatar follows us. So WordPress core brought it in to WordPress. Gravatar was integrated there to manage the avatars for comments and for all those things. And that's where it's been for 18, 19 years in core. When Tom went on to other things, Automatic ended up acquiring, it was the first acquisition by Automatic, Gravatar, and we've been maintaining it ever since. To be totally honest, over those like 18 years, there's been periods where not a lot of work has been done on Gravatar. There's been periods where it's gotten some love and attention. And then about a year ago, we started giving it, we put another team behind it and started building a team behind it. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today. Over those 20 years, it's still been growing, been thriving as that avatar service that you know. You'll find it in dozens and dozens of very high traffic leading platforms and websites. You'll find it in millions and millions of other websites too. And you probably don't even realize it all the times that you see your avatar staring you back in your own face when you log in somewhere. You probably don't even know where it's coming from, and it's likely Gravatar. So historically, for the last 20 years, Gravatar has really been that one avatar for everything everywhere. And what we are moving into is more than the avatar, is one profile for everything everywhere. And that's what I want to share more of today. So another lesser known fact about Gravatar is we are the OG, I can't believe I just said that out loud, we are the original link in bio, link page. Gravatar's always come with this one-page profile page for you for 20 years that most of us didn't even realize that we had. And on that public profile page, you can add your bio, your location, job information, links out to products or services you provide. One of the coolest things about Gravatar, I think, is the way that we verify your social accounts. You log in through us into those social accounts, and then we know that the owner of this Gravatar profile is also an owner of those social accounts. And so that we can start helping people know that, yes, this X account does also belong to the person that owns this Instagram account, for example. And that's very unique in what's out there. There's also, as I'll show, ways of helping with contact information and people messaging you. There's even options for people to send you money. So these profiles, they're more and more customizable. We've been putting a lot of attention on this in the last few months for you to really personalize it, make it your own, make it stand out. And there's a lot of different applications here at a conference like this one. You can share your Gravatar profile with anyone as a replacement or instead of a business card, for example, with a QR code. Or if you'll stop by the automatic booth tomorrow, we have these little NFC tags that we can give you that will link to your Gravatar profile as well. And then once someone pulls up your profile, they can add you to their contacts. They can add you to your mobile wallet with wallet card. They can send you a message, and they don't have to know your email address, any of your contact information, or anything like that. They also, you can choose to add your PayPal, your Venmo, your crypto, whatever, and you have a way for people to send you money. I use this with my neighbors. We all got together for like a little neighborhood pizza party. I bought the pizza. I said, here's my tap tag NFC. You can choose how you want to pay me in these methods to send me the $5 for the pizza or whatever. Something that's very interesting to me is this idea of domains as identity and digital identity in general. And what this could really mean. And Blue Sky is an example. The Blue Sky social network is probably the best example I've seen of using domains as usernames. And a goal that I would have is to kill all usernames and passwords. We need to make them redundant and useless. And domains might be a way to help get us there. Where if you could use your domain that you own to log in to other services or to be known as those other services. You don't have to remember random usernames, but also more importantly, it can be established that that is actually you or that the person that owns that domain when you're logged into those places. So it's a way of building trust and verification and things like that. And one thing that I've been learning a lot about the way that buying domains works and the registrars and the registries is, in a lot of ways, domain registration is probably the closest thing we have to some sort of global verification network in the world. The way that they know who owns the domain and can't take it from you and all of that. So that infrastructure already exists and is something we can build upon. We are very excited. We partnered with the folks at .link, who for the last few months have been offering a free .link TLD domain to Gravatar users. We're adding additional TLDs later this year. And that is a way that you can personalize your Gravatar and also your profile and also be, stand out and really make it something that's yours. You own it. So the fun stuff. I know I've been in the WordPress community for a long time. And I know that I read the Reddits and the mean tweets and the emails that we get and the things like that. And I know that there's perceptions, rightfully and maybe wrongfully sometimes, about what is Gravatar doing with all this data? Why is Gravatar in WordPress core? There's lots of legitimate questions around this too. And so I just want to start the conversation around our stance on privacy and data and our practices, our business model, all that, be as transparent as and open as possible and have that conversation. So we definitely believe in choice. That's another reason I like the domain. If something were to ever happen to Gravatar, you can take that domain somewhere else and have a single page or your website or whatever. One of the things that we hear all the time is that, well, Automatic and Gravatar must have this massive collection of like knowing where all the sites where your avatar might be showing, and we must be doing something with that data. And truthfully, that's just not the case. We have minimal logging in place. For like our server logs, we only log 10% of the traffic. And so we're not getting everything. We're only keeping that 10% there so that we're using it to be able to like monitor for abuse and help improve our service. But it's not tied to individuals. And then we're deleting those logs after 30 days and rotating new ones. So there's not some like, I think about it, when we were in school, you had a permanent record that was supposed to follow you from kindergarten to 12th grade you were scared of. There's no permanent record about your Gravatar. The only thing that's permanent is the public stuff that you choose to curate and to put yourself into your profile. And that's actually what stands, or the thing that is different with Gravatar versus a lot of the walled-in gardens, your Metas and your Microsofts and your Googles, where it is kind of a black box what kind of data they have on you. What we have is only what you give and you consent and that you're sharing publicly. And since we're at WordCamp, I want to talk a little bit about our brand new WordPress plugin that we just released last week. Technically, if anybody's paying really close attention, it's a 12-year-old plugin, I believe, that we brought back to life, but it was only installed on like a few dozen websites. But most of the stuff that's in the plugin now is new, and as we continue to build it out. But what's in this plugin? For starters, this plugin is a place intentionally for us to experiment and to try out things that we've heard from the community that would be better in WordPress core if Gravatar did this, or if we could do this with Gravatar in WordPress core. And so we are very much wanting whatever is reasonable and whatever is well tested to go into WordPress core through that whole process. So one example is on your profile page now on WordPress, or on users, your profile. The only way to change your avatar is there's a link that says go to gravatar.com. So then we're taking that user off of your website, sending them to gravatar.com. They have to log in and then come back. The new way with the plugin, we have what's called a quick editor. It opens up right inside as a little pop-up in the dashboard, and all that it's asking is to upload your avatar through there, and it's not like confusing the user and sending them somewhere else. So that's something that we're testing there. Also introduced in the plugin is a proxy service, so back to the logging that I was talking about. The user logs, the browser, the client data is not sent to us with the proxy. Instead, it's your server that's hosting the website data. So it just adds another level of privacy for the end users that are visiting your site with the Gravatar. So that's available in the plugin. One of my favorite things is blocks, and we have a Gravatar profile block that right now shows what we used to call a hover card, but now it doesn't have to just hover. It's your Gravatar card as a block that you can place in templates, be your auth host. This is really important for those of you into like content marketing, SEO. You have Google's EEAT. It's like your expertise and authority that Google is looking for is a ranking factor. And so showing your social links and the verified social links coming into your Gravatar profile and all of that is one way to help give that authority into the post. And I learned all about EEAT from this guy, Alex, right over here, and so I probably just made him sad for not getting that right. What's coming next is commenting. This isn't in there now, but a lot of us have always wanted to improve commenting. I still believe passionately that if you put a face and a link to the person on the profile, maybe we'll have fewer trolls and nicer people on the web. And so maybe getting Gravatar profiles and letting people edit their profile in line when they're adding content, comments is something that we can do. That Gravatar block, profile block, we're working on different patterns that you can add. This is not live, but go ahead and download that plugin and be ready for this when we get ready for it. But I could see lots of applications for this when I have company about pages or something. You don't need to let everyone in the company log into your website or send whoever's updating the website photos and information. Instead, you can just say, hey, go fill out your Gravatar profile, and that information will always stay up to date on the website using the block. So that should be pretty cool. And that leads us to the direction that we're really going is we've got a lot of infrastructure, API-based driven profile as a service for developers, for those building applications, building websites in and outside of WordPress to be able to pull in the public user profile data. And maybe you can help with onboarding, you can help customize experiences, make recommendations of products they should buy. I've got some really fun examples where I just tell ChatGPT, hey, this is my profile, link to my Gravatar, customize all responses in the future based on that, and it like really changes significantly the output. We have mobile SDKs we're working on and web components, and really a developer toolkit and framework. So this is, as if you were in this room in the last session, I think Miriam from Elementor said B2C, but that means business to community. And I never heard that before, but I really liked it. And so it's the same with us, that we're building a community both for end users and for developers. And so that brings us right to the end of how can you get involved. First of all, just update your profile. If you're in this room, there's a really good chance you have an old Gravatar profile laying around that you can update. There's my QR code to my profile at ronnie.link. Please reach out. There's a contact form on there. There's a donation button on there. Just kidding. And there's new API and the API documentation on our website for those of you on the developer side of things, and our GitHub to follow. So I definitely, on the GitHub, there is a board for feedback, ideas, questions. Also, you can just reach out to me or send us a contact on our website. We really want to continue this conversation and this dialogue going forward to make a service that's as useful to the open web as possible. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions. Oh no.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hi, Aaron.
My question would be, have you considered like making Gravatar like the single sign-on provider for the web? Like, it would be amazing if there was just one place that was super like secure, like had like, you know, pass keys and YubiKey support and all that kind of stuff, two-factor, so that like any website could use that instead of login with Google or whatever.
Yes. In fact, that is what we started when we put a team on Gravatar about a year ago. It was for that exact thing. And we spent a lot of time on it. And we were happy with what we built. But the thing that you said in your question, which was that is secure, is very important to us. And we want to make sure before we roll something like that out that like all of our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. But we're getting there. Now, if you're familiar with WordPress and in the WordPress space, there's the WordPress Connect has been around for a long time in that OAuth service, and through Jetpack and all that. I don't know what it'll look like, but we are working on like different ways of improving that connection, because once in like your website or in another app, We need easier ways for users to give consent for sharing that information, or even better, like updating that information in real time from those websites. So maybe is probably all I should have said to answer your question.
Any other questions?
Up here.
Of course.
So how does Gravatar make money? Is there add-ons or premium features?
Good question. We don't at the moment. The only thing that we have right now is the domains and selling domains through WordPress.com is a registry. Well, we sell domains there. I get confused between registry and registrar all the time. But we sell domains through there, and that will be one source of revenue. It won't cover like all of our expenses or anything like that. It is important to us that this is a 20-year-old project that a lot of the web is built on and a lot of the web is using. That's something that's important to our company, and that's more important than the actual revenue aspect. Other things we've talked about, and I'm happy to consider. So our API, the developer API that we have, that you can use, in your applications or on your websites. The terms of service is that as long as you're telling your users and you're giving them an easy way or a link back to Gravatar so they can update your profile, that it's free to use. And I don't see that changing. I mean, of course, I can't see in the future forever, but there may be cases for some licensing on like heavy usage of the API in the future, perhaps. There's nothing like that planned in the immediate future. Yeah, I really just see it right now through the domains. And honestly, using our API, we hope that Automatic has a lot of products and a lot of services, and if we can use our own tools and it can help grow all of our businesses, then we win as well. Yes. She's coming.
Thank you. I logged into my Gravatar. It came up automatically on my phone,
Nice.
which was really fast, which was surprising to me. I didn't know it remembered it. But there's a claim your domain, which is a username I put in, .link, and it's free for 1 year. And then there's also change your profile URL. Explain that to me.
Yeah, so you can also choose to keep your gravatar.com as part of the URL, but change your username, which is the second part of the URL. That means because of the way that we've been set up for so long that that's also your WordPress.com username. Or you can use the custom .link domain. And you can choose, for .link, you can choose beyond that username. You can search for anything you want, your actual name or business name or whatever as well. Yeah, thank you.
Any others? Okay.
So you mentioned the original, the OG.
Yeah.
I love that. What's the usage like of .link Gravatars on social? Have you measured Instagram use and stuff?
Yeah, we're definitely seeing it in our stats. We're seeing the refers coming in. It's growing. It's all brand new. That just launched at the end of June. Yeah, nice. And we also see that the folks that are using a custom domain have more information on their profile and more traffic to their profile. That's something for sure that we're seeing. All right. Thank you very much. I'll be around all week if you want to chat.
So that was going to be my question.
Yeah.
Give him a hand.
Ronnie.link, if you have any additional questions, you can that'll send me a message, or I'll be at the Automatic Gravatar part of the Automatic booth for the next couple of days too, and our team. So we're happy to chat.
Let's give him another hand. Thank you.
Thank you.